limiting beliefs. When you're growing up as a kid, you may hear the saying, you can be anything you want to be. You can be anything you want to be. Were you told this as a child? Were you told that you could be anything you want to be? And um, did you believe it? Did you believe that you could be anything you want to be as a child? I'm genuinely curious. I want to know if you believed it. When did you, some of you did believe it, some of you weren't told that. Some of you were told it and didn't believe it. Okay, why didn't you believe it? You were told it, but you didn't believe it, so why didn't you believe it? Some are kind of sorta, some are just never told that in the first place. So why didn't you believe you could do anything you wanted to do? You could be anything you wanted to be as a child. I'm genuinely curious. I thought your mom was just talking. It's like, yeah, well, sure, my mom believes that, but I don't think that that's true, right? So sometimes we're told what we can be, but at the same time, we have narcissistic parents that will build us up and then tear us down at another time. So when we talk about limiting beliefs, what we're talking about are deeply ingrained assumptions or convictions that restrict your ability to fully achieve goals or to see yourself clearly. Deeply ingrained beliefs, assumptions, convictions that restrict your ability to live fully, achieve goals, or see yourself clearly. And that last part's important because sometimes you're not seeing yourself as you truly are because your potential is actually unlimited, it's unmatched, but you're not even seeing it. You're not seeing the potential that you have. So when you have limiting beliefs, it's usually negative, self-defeating, and it shapes the way you think, feel, and act in various ways. These beliefs can arise from past experiences, societal influences, trauma, learned behaviors, and often operate subconsciously. So they hold you back in life. I did not have limiting beliefs growing up. Um, my grandmother would say, "You're as smart as a whip. You could be president if you wanted to be." And I truly believed that. As it turned out, I just didn't want to become president, but still believe I could. Because I do not have limiting beliefs, generally speaking. Maybe occasionally in a rare blue moon, I'll have some type of limiting belief that I'm not aware of. But I don't have limiting beliefs. So even when I was a kid, I didn't have them. I remember sitting in Old Country Buffet with my parents, and I was telling them, yeah, I think I want to be a professional athlete, but one that plays multiple sports. Like I like to play like three different sports. And my parents are like, I could see the disbelief on their face. They're like, fat chance. Like they said something discouraging, like, I don't think that's really realistic or something like that. Um, and I was incensed. How dare they not believe in my grandiose dreams, as a child. I was not pleased. In fact, I thought, boy, I'll prove them wrong. And then I joined, I was the fastest kid in my school, uh, in middle school, and then I joined high school track. And then I mean, I was still fast, but it was like too much work, and the coaches were mean. I don't like them. And I was like, I don't like this. Also, you had to get good grades in order to run in the track meets, and I didn't get good grades, so I couldn't run. I couldn't run in the track meets on the weekends. I wasn't allowed to. On top of that, I skied in the on the weekends a lot of times as well. So it didn't line up for me to continue my dreams of becoming a professional athlete, and I could kind of see that they took it a little too seriously at a certain level, and I was just trying to have fun. So I decided not to be, but it wasn't due to limitations of my own mind. So in order to help my clients with limiting beliefs, I actually have to study and research limiting beliefs to understand these beliefs because it's not something I've ever experienced before. I thought you might find that interesting because not everyone suffers from limiting beliefs, although probably most of the population does. So these come from a lot of different places for people. For one, we are creating self-imposed boundaries. So you're setting mental and emotional boundaries that are making you incapable of certain achievements, but you're the one who's putting the boundaries on yourself. Like, yeah, right, I could never do that. I think probably all of us will put self-imposed boundaries. Sometimes we're using generalizations like all or nothing thinking. We're oversimplifying or exaggerating the situation. Some person mentioned here growing up as female. Okay, well, then we got sweeping generalizations that are happening in the world around us in society. They say, oh, because you're this, you'll never be able to. And they may use your race, your gender, your height, things like that. These generalizations. If you're this, then you'll never be able to do that. Sometimes it's fear-based thinking. We just have fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of discomfort, fear of the unknown. So we're creating limiting belief, limiting belief. Um, and sometimes those limiting beliefs influence our behavior. In fact, probably all the time they do. It stops us from taking action. We don't pursue opportunities. We don't grow emotionally. We don't grow mentally. We don't pursue connections, right? For instance, here's a limiting belief. I'll just get hurt again. I'll just get hurt again. I can't trust anyone. These are limiting beliefs. So what do we do? If we're just going to get hurt again, and that's how we look at relationships, then we don't pursue relationships because we're afraid of getting hurt again. There's that fear of failure. If we're saying I'll just get hurt again in relation to pursuing a job promotion or opportunities, then we hold ourselves back because we're afraid we're just going to get hurt again. So where does it come from? For you, it might have been your childhood conditioning. For you, it might have been your past trauma. If you had parents that were telling you that you're not good enough, that's childhood conditioning. If you were abused, assaulted as a child, then they create negative beliefs such as I'm not safe. I can't trust people. Does that make sense? Society and culture, if there's societal norms, if there's stereotypes that can impose those limiting self-beliefs on ourselves. People like me can't succeed. I have to look a certain way to be valued, right? You could have negative experiences, just failures, rejections, reinforce your beliefs to feeling incapable. I can't do it. I don't deserve happiness. Those are limiting beliefs. So if you have a belief such as, I'm not smart enough to succeed, that's a limiting belief. How will that impact you? If you believe, I'm not smart enough to succeed, how's that going to impact you? Probably not going to pursue higher education, probably going to avoid applying for jobs, probably not going to take risks because you feel unworthy. You don't think you're smart enough to succeed. You're not going to invest, you're not going to start your business. See the problem with the belief? Because you are actually smart enough to succeed. So seeing yourself clearly will help you to realize that. And by thinking you're not smart enough to succeed, you won't move forward, and then it changes your perspective in life. I got a buddy with limiting beliefs, and I can tell how it affects his life. I don't want to hurt his feelings, but I can see how he's not living his dream. He's working hours that don't allow him to hang out as much with all of us. He's the guy with limiting beliefs. He just feels like I can't. He's always talking about what he can't do and what's not possible and how the glass is half empty. He's always the first to point out that it's probably going to rain when we make plans. It's probably going to be closed. We're probably not going to be able to. Right? He's the guy with the limiting beliefs, and it can make you into a whole Eeyore character. Remember that guy from Winnie the Pooh? You ask Eeyore, "How you doing, Eeyore?" And he goes, "Not very good." We don't want to be like that, but it can be tough because we don't live in a world where everything's always roses. Sometimes things are a little less than positive in the world we live in, right? So, how can we identify if we got these self beliefs, these limiting beliefs? Want to pay attention to the self talk. How are you talking to yourself? Notice your phrases. I can't. You ever notice how I correct that when people are here talking in the group chat? I'm like, don't say I can't. Just in a general sense. That's a phrase that you want to limit because either that or it limits you. So limit your use of I can't. Make sure it's something you literally, for sure, literally, scientifically cannot do. Okay. Don't let it be something that scientifically it is possible for you to do. Don't say I can't for that. I'm not. I always pay attention to your self-talk. Notice your emotional reactions. Are you responding to things in the emotions? Strong emotional reactions like fear, shame, can lead you to an underlying belief. My suggestion for shame, which is a lot of I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, drop it. There is no benefit to toxic shame. Drop it. Put it on your piece of paper. Drop shame. There's no benefit. It doesn't help you. It doesn't make you succeed. It doesn't make you smarter. It will not assist you in any way, shape, or form. There's no need for it. There's no place for it. Shame is just toxic shame is just maladaptive. It's no good and it will hold you back in life. So don't worry about shame. My advice for fear is feel the fear, but do it anyway. Fear is not something for you to obey, it's something for you to consult. It's very important that you um, organize your emotion that way. Fear is not something to obey, it's something to consult. So it's not your boss. So stop obeying the fear. Stop letting the fear control you. It's something you consult, meaning you listen to it because sometimes it'll have good advice. Like, oh, no, I don't think you should go, out alone to that party. Sometimes it's good advice. It's like, okay, thanks for, I'm consulting it. I'm listening. You're right. I'm not going to go alone to that party. You're right. But a lot of times fear can be very irrational and it can hold you back. Even when it's rational, it can still be holding you back. Oh, you don't want to take a risk. You don't want to start your own business. You don't want to apply for that job. And yeah, it's rational, but it's holding you back from doing all you can do, from being all you can be. So pay attention to that fear and don't allow it to be in the place it's not supposed to be. The fear is not to control you. You got to keep it under control. You got to limit it. Reflect on your patterns. So repeated challenges in certain areas may signal a limited belief at play. So if you keep finding that whenever it comes to talking to the opposite sex, you always have a challenge in that area. Could be because there's a limiting belief at play. So pay attention to your patterns. Ask yourself why. Why do I hesitate? Why do I hold back? Why do I believe I can't do this? Will there be benefits if we're able to overcome these limiting beliefs? Well, of course. Of course. I am pointing you to the way of freedom. I want this for you. I'm telling you, as a person who doesn't suffer from limiting beliefs, this is the side of the grass where it's greener. You want to be on this side of the fence. You don't want to be on the limiting belief sides of the fence. You don't want to be like John, Eeyore John, my buddy, who's got a lot of limiting beliefs. He limits himself in his life, he limits himself in his relationships. His time passes, he gets older, he has nothing to show. He's a good guy. He has nothing to show for his limiting beliefs. So you want to instead open your mind up and recognize your limitlessness. Recognize your limitlessness. Have you heard of that book? It was adapted into a movie called Limitless. This guy just took a pill and then it opened up the rest of his brain. That's how I want you to think of yourself as limitless. Like you have a whole brain, you're not tapping into the full potential, So a lot of things really are possible. And if you think like that, then it will unlock that potential. If you say I can't, well, then we closed all the doors. It's not going to unlock, it unlocks no potential. If you think in limitlessness, then it's going to open doors for you. It's going to create opportunities. If you think in limitlessness, it's going to build your self confidence. And by the way, high self confidence makes you attractive and more successful. And you're able to do more for others because it takes risk even just to help others. If you think in limitlessness, it's going to improve your relationships. It will diminish your anxiety, diminish your depression. It's going to expand your personal power. It's going to help you align with your values and your goals, right? A lot of value in developing a limitless mindset. So I don't want you to have a limiting beliefs. I want you to have a limitless mindset, right? So let's go over a couple examples of limiting beliefs and let's see how we can identify the belief, challenge it, replace it, and act in a way that contradicts the belief. That's our code. We want to identify the limiting belief, challenge the limiting belief, replace it, and act in a way that contradicts that limiting belief. Identify it, challenge it, replace it, act in a way that contradicts that limiting belief. So here's one. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. How do we change this into a more empowering, beneficial belief? Because that's detrimental to yourself. Here's what's better than I'm not good enough. I was born worthy. Every human is born worthy. I'm learning and growing every day. My worth isn't defined by my mistakes. Make sense? Limiting belief. I don't deserve to love. I don't deserve to love. We got to flip that into a more empowering belief. I don't deserve love. No, I deserve love. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of kindness. I'm worthy of respect. I'm worthy of good treatment. I'm worthy of all the best simply because I exist. Not because I do something to become worthy. No, no, no. I'm worthy of everything. I'm here, right? Aren't all humans worthy of oxygen? Yeah. So all humans are worthy of being treated well, having peace, being loved. We're all worthy. Yeah. Limiting belief. I'm a failure. Empowering thought. Failures are opportunities to learn and grow. I'm not defined by my last mistake. I'm limitless. I have the power and the ability and the potential to do anything, to be anything that I want to be. I am not a failure. My last project didn't turn out how I wanted it to turn out, but I learned lessons from it. And now I'm smarter. So now I'm going to take more risks and continue to move forward because now the potential, the chances that I will succeed on something like this are greater because I've learned from my failure. That's how I want to think. Limiting belief. I don't have any control over my life. I have no control over my life. Empowering belief. Nobody's got more control over my life than I do. Nobody has more influence over what my life will become as I do. Not to mention, I control a lot. I control how I respond, how I think. I control what I say. I control what I do, how I move these hands, how I move these legs. I control where I go, where I take my assets, how I spend my money, where I drive my car. I control my thermostat. I'm in control. Limiting belief. Things will never get better. Things will never get better. Empowering thought. I don't know the future, but nobody has as much influence over my life as I do. So I'm always going to be working toward the embetterment, toward the improvement of my life. That's what I focus on, is what I control and what I can do. And I can work towards the embetterment of my life. I can work towards things being better. I can always do something. And so I focus on what I can do. Even if I'm in prison in a war-torn country, I focus on what I can do. What can I do? I'm in prison in a war-torn country. What can I do? I can pray. I can preach and teach the other people who are in prison, right? I can create community, right? I'm focused on what I can do, not, oh, there's so much I can't control. No, I'm focused on what I can do. That's empowering beliefs. That's beneficial thinking. Another example of a limiting belief. People will always abandon me. People will always abandon me. Empowering belief. It's part of life. People may come and go. Most relationships are temporary, but I'm open for connection, even if that's only going to be for one day. People may come and go. That's a part of life. But I'm open for connection, even if that's just going to be one day, because connections bring value. And I can extract the value from these connections, and we can have a synergistic relationship where both of us are benefiting one another, even if it's just for 1 year. It's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. I'm open for connection. I can handle it if people leave. I'm not a child anymore, right? When people abandon you as a child, you have no options. When they abandon you as an adult, it's still abandonment, but you have options. If you drive me to Target and leave me there, it's not as traumatic as when I was 4, as now when I'm 34 or 44. Making sense? Like, yeah, it's still abandonment. Like, hey, why'd you leave me at Target? That was bad. But it's different now. My survival is not threatened now. So I need to change, update the way that I respond. So my new response, the empowering way of thinking is, I'll be good. I don't want them to leave. I don't want them to abandon me, but I'll be good. I'll be fine. I'll figure it out if they leave. Be good. Yeah, we're talking about your loved one. We're talking about your wife. We're talking about your husband, the man you love. What if he leaves? Okay, what if he does? I'll be good. That's how you need to think. Self-empowering beliefs. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I figured out how to get myself into this great relationship. I'll figure it out from there. Negative belief, limiting belief. I can't trust anyone. Empowering belief, beneficial belief. Trust is a choice. I have the ability to decide who I trust and who I don't trust. I can trust anyone that I want. Instead of I can't trust anyone, I can trust anyone. I can trust anyone that I want to trust. I choose not to trust that guy who abused me in the past. That would be foolish. I choose not to trust that same girl who keeps scamming me. But I can trust. I can trust anyone I want. See how empowering that is? Limiting belief. I have to please others to be loved. Empowering belief. I'm worthy of love. I was born worthy of love. I don't have to please anyone. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to say anything to be worthy of love. Limiting belief. I'm not smart enough to succeed. Empowering belief. I'm brilliant. I can learn new skills. I can learn new things. Anything I don't know, I can learn it. I can look it up. I can read a book. Limiting belief. Success is for other people, not for me. Empowering belief. Success is defined by me achieving my goals. I have the ability to move forward, to move these feet in any direction, to be able to achieve my goals. I can have success. I have had success. I'm worthy of success. Limiting belief. My health is too bad. My body's too broken. I'll never feel good again. Empowering belief. This is temporary. I will feel better again. Sometimes I have moments where I do feel good. And in those moments, I'm going to cherish them to the full and utilize them. My body is capable of healing. I got to work to support the recovery. Limiting belief. Healing's impossible to me. I'm just too broken. Empowering belief. Healing is a journey and I'm on the journey. I'm getting better gradually. It's not linear. Even when I have what I call setbacks, those are just momentary lapses in which I can learn from. I am healing. I am moving forward. Limiting belief. My life doesn't matter. Empowering belief. I make my life matter. Every person matters, but I give my life meaning. I give my life significance by what I choose to do. Limiting belief. I'm stuck in my circumstances forever. Things will never change into my favor. Healed thinking. I have the power to change my circumstances. Circumstances are temporary. They change. 1 minute you can have TikTok, the next minute it can be banned. And then the next minute it could just come back again, or something else can pop up. No matter what the circumstances are, I have the power to adapt, to thrive, to excel. Limiting belief. It's too late for me to find my purpose. I'm too old. Empowering belief. Every moment is an opportunity to grow. I can choose my purpose. I'm still breathing. I'm still alive. That's a miracle in itself. Limiting belief. I'll just fail if I try. Empowering belief. Failure is the pathway to success. I got to fail more often so I can have more success. That's how I learn, through failure. Every great basketball player is the same ones who missed the most amount of shots publicly. That's what I need to do. I need to get out there and start missing some more shots so I can start making them. Limiting belief. People are going to judge me if I make mistakes. Empowering belief. Why would I be concerned about what other people are thinking about my mistakes when I know that my mistakes are a part of my process of being successful, because I'm learning from my mistakes? People are going to judge me whether I don't make mistakes or I do. I can stay in the house and they're going to judge me for being a hermit. I go outside and they're still going to judge me. So why would I be worried about that? I'm going to focus on what I can do and what I'm going to create for myself. Limiting belief. I can't risk stepping out of my comfort zone. Empowering belief. Growth happens outside of my comfort zone. Limiting belief. I deserved what happened to me. Empowering belief. No one deserves to be treated the way I was treated. No one deserves to be abused or to be mistreated. I deserve all the best. Limiting belief. I'll never feel safe. Empowering belief. I'm safe right now. I'm safe right now. I can logically process that I am safe despite the way I may feel. I am safe, and I'll continue to create safety for myself within reason. Limiting belief. People will never understand me. Empowering belief. I can connect with people. I can listen to people. I can empathize with people. Although no one will ever understand me in the fullest sense, I will have moments of breakthrough and understanding between me and other people. I will have moments of connection. Was this helpful to you? I tried to give you some examples so you can look inside yourself. It's not about the specific things that I said. It's not like you have to have them written down. That's not what's important. It's about understanding the spirit of how to correct the thinking. We always want to stay in that ladder, the empowering thoughts, the beneficial thoughts. So don't limit yourself, but adopt a mindset of being limitless.